Dear brothers and sisters, after the Holy Christmas, we enter into a very special time. Before the Epiphany is the time of Christmas blessing. We feel that the Lord just came to this world. He brought salvation, He brought new hope, new opportunities for us. He is renewing the whole world. And we also enter the new year, so we also have a feeling of something new. Okay? And when we have this feeling of renewal, and we will have it even further by the baptism, on the time of baptism of Christ at the Epiphany, which will be on January 19th, we feel that we also have this renewal going on in us. And while having this renewal, it is good to think about how do we look at this world. And there are three basic attitudes that people have. Okay? Generally, we can be either optimistic about the future, that the world is developing, humanity is becoming more wise, more educated, we have better technologies, okay, we discover new things. And there is the pessimistic view that things become worse and worse, and morals are deteriorating, people go away from the church, from God, and things become worse and worse. Okay? People become more jealous, serve mammon, and many other things which are also true. So we might feel that everything is just going downhill. And there is a view, let's call it the Hindu view, okay? That is just, everything is just changing, but it's all the same, okay? Buddhist also, okay? That it's, okay, flowing, but basically people are the same, people's sins are the same, okay? This, the way the world runs is about the same. Nothing really changes. Okay. So these are three basic attitudes that people have. And us, okay, Christians, when we think about these things, we need to, first of all, remember that there is a spiritual war that is going on. And we are participating in this war. And in every war, there is time when we are winning, and there is time when we are losing, okay? Or the army is losing, even though we are trying to win, but the army is losing, okay? So we need to see this, first of all, on my individual level. Am I fighting well? Am I doing the right thing that the Lord is expecting from me? Am I trained well? Am I in good shape, okay? Suitable for this war? This is the most important. It's much more important than the whole world. What's happening with the whole world? What's happening with you? Okay. So, but having said this, we also don't object to thinking about the big picture. Okay. The big picture, even on the whole global picture. Okay, what is happening in this world overall? And we are taught by the Bible to think about these things, because the Bible tells us about the beginning of the world, the end of the world, okay, about these many centuries, what happened, how the plan of God has developed. So, and we live through this during every liturgy, we experience this. So for us, this big picture is also important, okay? Not only my own salvation, my own spiritual situation. So the whole picture, where the world is going to, what state is it in right now, who are the main players, okay, what's going on, all these things we need to think about, and it's fine to think about it, okay? We just not to have not to become not obsessed about this, don't have any phobias and things like that, okay? And don't forget that my own, okay, internal world, okay, is the seed of God's word growing in me. That's much more important. Okay. When we think about this big picture, this is what I want to talk about today. We know about these notions of invisible hand of the market, say. Okay, we know this from economics, that there is this hand that no government, no company makes a plan what to do, but the market does its own thing. Okay. I don't need to talk about it in much detail. There is invisible hand in other things. In, say, globalization, things, the world is changing around us due to lowering of tariffs and trade and technologies and things like that. And it's a little bit chaotic. It's not controlled by anyone. Okay, we don't see who this is controlled by. We see, for example, some trends in social life. The new generation is changing. It's different from this generation. Our generation is different from the previous generation. The way people think, people behave, okay, it's different in something. In something, of course, all humans are the same. But in some things, people are different, okay? We cannot explain it just by some factors. It's because of this. There is some invisible hand behind it. We can say that. Okay. Also behind these changes. How is it done? Okay. We can say, well, what does it have to do with me? I mean, I'm not sociologist. I'm not economist. Well, there is a very direct relationship. The Lord wants us to know what's happening. Among the 7 spirits that Isaiah, the prophet, he received, okay, the 7 spirits of God, they signify 7 talents that we receive from the Holy Spirit. And among those 7 spirits, there is the spirit of knowledge. The spirit of knowledge, okay, it's distinguished from spirit of wisdom and from other spirits. Today I want to say a bit about this. This spirit of knowledge gives us understanding, knowledge about many things, about nature of things, about nature of processes that are going on in this world. So we should not be ignorant, say, oh, it's not my responsibility. It's my responsibility, only my little world. The Lord wants you to know things. Maybe you'll need it to help others. Okay, and we can be taught by Him directly. Okay, we of course study. We need to educate ourselves, even in the secular sciences. This is fine, but we can gain even more. Okay, through this divine revelation, and it's revelation about many things. Okay, not only about purely spiritual things, but about things that relate to this world. Our faith is very much intertwined with this world. We see the whole Old Testament and most of the New Testament. It's a built-in history, real people, real events. It's not just some ideas or some concepts, what to do, what not to do. Okay, we're incarnated religion. Okay, we're incarnated faith. We're completely incarnate to this world, to its history, to individual people. So it is good for us to know things, okay, what is going on. And unfortunately, majority of people, they don't think about this, even Christians. We just live because we just live, okay, the days go by, we do our job, we do what we are supposed to do. Some people survive to be able to make it, okay, through this life. And they think, why should I bother think about it? Well, hopefully we can surpass this level. Because even people who are not Christians, they know things behind, some of them, smart ones. Okay, they know things behind the scene, behind the news. Okay, they understand more because of education, because because they're smart. So we Christians, we need to know even more than they know, okay? And how can we know? At least we need to know that there are plans. There are plans, like I've mentioned, these invisible hands. Some of these invisible hands, they are invisible to us because we don't know how to get these principles behind them. Okay, for example, economics. We haven't studied economics. I have, but not many people have. Okay, if they would have studied it, they would know more. They would understand more. They would not say it's just invisible. It just happens. They can understand what okay, what is behind it. In the same way, we can say that there are people who are very influential, who are developing their plans, and they don't tell you about their plans. They just go and do it. Okay, corporations, to make money, they need to keep many things in secret. They prepare, they analyze their customers, they analyze you, how you behave, how you would react to some product, for example, that they will put on the market, or do something else. They know everything. Well, not everything, but they know a lot of things, and they do things, and you're just passive. You just receive what they've done, and you react in a predictable way, usually. So, not only corporations. There are people who have great influence on this world and on what is happening in this world. Okay, and today I don't want to talk about whether there are some people who have one big master plan and they go by this plan, or there are none. There are just groups of very powerful people who, okay, do some things. Okay, and very often you don't hear about many things in the news, but the reality changes, and it's not just changing because chance. Okay, just happened to be so. It changes because people have made this change. They've planned and they've executed this change, and it's not some conspirology. Okay, this was just you can call it conspiracy, but any plan that you don't tell to others is a conspiracy. Okay, so there is nothing wrong about being a conspirologist. Okay, you just want to know what plans of those people are. So we can say that this is one level, but there are two other levels. Okay, at least two other levels of planning. One level is the planning of God. The God does have a master plan, because He's one, God is one, and He has one plan. Okay, one beginning of the world, one plan. Okay, one end of this plan. So God has His plan, and this plan is beyond anyone else's comprehension. We cannot completely understand this plan. It's a mystery. And there is a plan of devil, because devil is also one. He's one guy. Okay, so he's got his goals. And he is spiritual, and he knows many things about many people. And he can use many people as his instruments to achieve this plan. So sometimes, for example, some things like everybody is getting obsessed with mammon, serving riches, comfort, consumption, egoistic self-being, and many other tendencies that happen in this world. You can say, is it some bunch of people planning like that? Maybe yes, maybe no. But the devil is behind that, and he is using people's sins and passions to push everyone according to that plan. Okay, so even if these bad guys who have big power, who are out there, are not in full agreement with themselves, there is one guy behind all of them who is in agreement with himself. Okay, and he is developing this big, his own master plan against God, against the plan of God. Okay, so sometimes it may seem that the darkness is overcoming. Okay, it's overwhelming everything, but this is not so. Because the plan of God is beyond and it's smarter than the God. He outplays the devil. And this is why we need to always remember about this. And the holy people tell us that this world had one beginning and it will have one end. And the beginning is good because he's coming from God. So the end also must be good. It's also from God. He is Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end. So it's not that the whole plan failed and the Lord created this world, but it all failed. We don't believe in such God that always fails, okay? So even though that it may seem to us, to our chicken brain, that we think that things are going bad and it's all being destroyed, no, okay? So we need to know about this, and we need to know that there is this plan of God that is above the plan of devil. And a very good example of what I'm talking about is what happened with Jesus Christ. Because there were people who conspired against him. Okay, there was the betrayer, the Judas. There were these chief priests and scribes, lawyers of the Jews, who also had their own conspiracy to kill Christ. And there was this Pilate, this Pontius Pilate, who did not conspire. He was just driven by his passion. He wanted power, and he's done what he was asked to do to preserve his power. Okay, so he also was involved in killing Christ. So all these people, we see that they have different goals, and they are quite different agenda, different types of people. But all of them, they were put together by devil, to accomplish the will of devil. Okay? And the will of the devil, the plan of devil, was to kill Christ, to get rid of him, that he would not teach people and he would not accomplish his plan, and to make everybody feel that it's a domination. He was humbled. What kind of God is that? Okay, everybody else, all the people would not believe such God. Okay, so that was all the plan of Satan. But the Lord, he used that for higher goal, for trampling death by death, for bringing salvation through his resurrection. So it is not, of course, it doesn't mean that he approved what was done by Judas or the scribes, the chief priests. He said that they will be condemned, and that it would be better for them not to be born at all. But he allowed this to happen, and he overthrew devil through this death. And we can see here all these three levels. Okay? And a similar thing happens in our time with this world, with the history of this world, with what's happening today, with this all kinds of crises, medical, economic, political, with many things. There are also these three levels. Okay, there is the lower level, okay, which is what we see in the news, okay, and in the statistics, what's happening, okay, that's public knowledge, okay, that everybody knows about. This level is even below, and very often it's far away from reality, and it's just sometimes a picture or some play that people are manipulated, okay, that they would think something else, okay. So this is another level, okay, which most people unfortunately are on that level. So let us be wise, let us look behind what's happening, Let us be very positive about the future, and let us be winners on the battlefield that we personally are involved in. Okay, we have to get into this battle, okay, and overthrow the enemy every day, day by day. May the Lord give us strength, strengthen our faith, give us wisdom and guidance, and overthrow all enemies who are waging war against us and Him and me. God bless. Merry Christmas.